Good morning, Spirit Sessions fans and watchers. Thank you for joining us this morning. Hey, please share this out. Please, if you're watching it on YouTube, give us a comment. Tell us where you're from. We'd love to know where you are from, watching from all over the world. And today we have two of Learning in Silence, Juju and Mandy. They've joined us to tell us about their lives and tell us about how they're role models in their kids' lives and how it all works with being energy workers and getting downloads and everything else. Watch the Breakthrough Show all week long. We put up ads whenever you can find whichever show's on. We're also on paranormal.com and they have a big wide variety of shows. You can also find us on our YouTube channel, on the Breakthrough Show Network YouTube channel, and wherever you get podcasts, you can download and listen to us on the go. So with that, I'm going to ask Juju and Mandy to introduce themselves. And I'm going to start with Juju because her name starts first in the alphabet. So I'm just doing an alphabetical order today. Juju, just give us a little bit of your background and what's going on with you.
Um, I'm a mother. I'm a writer. I'm a content creator, and I'm working on a book. On it's called the Learning in Silence Healing Journey book. So those are the things. And I'm a mother of four. Again, I also with Mandy I podcast the show Learning in Silence, which is amazing. It's been a hell of a drive.
And we can watch that now into replay, right?
Yes, correct. And
Right. And you can go to the Breakthrough Show Network and have you
can.
got it any other place than that or just there?
I have my own YouTube. Is Juju Divine Empress. You can watch the shows, the episodes there as well. I have uploaded them there as well.
Oh, cool. Okay, so I'm going to let Mandy give her quick intro, and then we're going to chat with you about just one moment. I'm going to put Mandy. But first, Mandy, before you start, when you give your intro, tell us where you got your brand name from, because I'm intrigued.
I'm gonna have to do this one on TikTok, so I guess I'll just take it from here because they're asking for it too. Ugly Pretty Chick came to me right before pandemic. I kind of created her around what I've been through, my sign. I'm a Gemini, so for me it's always duality in two people. Um Ugly represents the stuff I've been through, the stuff we go through. The pretty is me, myself, my inner self, my healing journey, others' healing journey. And as TikTok says, chic is just for me, it's who I am after all of that. I'm me. So Ugly Pretty Chick is very important to me. It's more of a healing process. It's an understanding. I do morning motivations now with her. Like everybody is so clean on the name. So I just use her and she helps people. She really does. And
She's like an
now,
avatar for you?
right. Yeah, she really is. I use her even for myself when I don't want to be Mandy sometimes. I'll just put her on, and she'll come through and she'll be, let's go. Let's do this. We're going to get it done and we're going to be great today. But
Awesome.
I've had her for 3 years.
Okay, that's awesome. Um, just wanted to ask you, ladies, what was your favorite topic on your show, and which one was it? What do you think was your favorite?
Ooh, mine would have had to been the first show. And that show, I was completely nervous. That was the first time I ever went on a podcast like live with like face. I did podcasting, regular through Anchor and stuff. But the feeling afterwards and the feedback of the topic about narcissists and it did something for me. And I will never forget that moment. That was a really proud moment for me.
What about you, Juju?
Uh, for me, it's hard to choose. It's
Like your babies, right?
right, they are all my babies. Every single one of them is kind of like they all fall back in within each other. They all coexist. The topics, it started, like Mandy said, from that fabulous one, and it just kind of like just lingered out of from there, and we just continue with topics. So each of them are, I love them the same.
Love them the same. Oh, that's
I love
sweet.
that.
So how do you think your show has been a positive influence on your kids? What do you think it's
Ooh.
taught them and
My
taught
kids
you
watch
about
it.
you? Your kids don't watch it.
No, my kids do. They
Oh,
over the
Wow.
summer, yeah, they would know I was going live. They would run in the room, they would take their phones or their tablets, and they would watch the
Aw.
whole thing. Yep.
oh,
And afterwards, they'd be like, "We saw you, mom." And it has helped them actually for even what they're going through. They'll come back and they'll ask me things like, "What is this? What's a narcissist? What's inner healing? What's energy?" And when I started explaining those things to them, it opened something in their mind, and they even started taking initiative to meditate or to ask me what crystals were, or, "Mommy, I'm having dreams. How do I heal that?" And just hearing the difference in their speech, that alone. And my daughter finally picked up a pen again, and even my 6-year-old telling her teacher she wants to be like me when she grows up and help people. So that just let me know, like, yeah, the message is really getting through.
what do
That's
you? How
awesome.
about you, Juju?
Well, I can't verify like Mandy, like that my kids watch the show. I do not, but they do support me in it. They have, they're a little bit older than Mandy, so they do support me. And when I do need my time to work and stuff like that, they do help me. The my teenager one, it's more is the one that more focusing in it. She's more into in it. It's um as I'm healing through the show, it's helping me understand her better and understand their feelings more in a sense better, and get to know what is, like I was saying in my last show, their love language, which
Mhm.
each of them's love language is. Then that has helped my teenager one. She bought me a crystal. She even bought me a deck of cards. She said it just called to her and she just gave them to me, and it was for me, so she's really into, she loves the deck of cards, so she's really into it. But when it comes to put having them to meditate, I can't. They have ADHD, so I can't have them like sit down and meditate with me. I can't. They're like, no, that's where I draw the line.
Mhm.
And they just leave me alone. They like everything else, but not the meditation part.
Yeah, I totally relate to that. Totally relate to that. My kids, like, I have four, and my oldest will only come to me when he's got like an interview or his girlfriend's got an interview or he needs some good luck. He'll be like, "Mom, I need you to do your witchy voodoo." Other than that, like, it doesn't really come up much. And I'm like, okay, done. Um, the other ones, they'll pop up with questions randomly, but not typically. They know I love crystals. They're all over the house. Like, they know what I do. They know to leave me alone on Sundays at 12 so I can do the show, and then I'll see them after. But I find that, it's the planting the seeds that's the most important. Like, just, little bits here and there, because eventually it does start to pop up and they'll start to come up with their own, you know, ways of being able to express the things that you've been trying to share with them all along. It's just having them come into it in their own time, which is so worth it. Because then it doesn't feel like you're kind of forcing it on them anymore, right? It's just letting them kind of discover it. And I love that. I love that your kids, Mandy, are watching. I think that's awesome, because I think that's definitely something that more kids need to be exposed to, being able to have all these amazing, being able to experience things in a different way than what society is teaching them all the time. I mean, in school they're not learning any of the stuff that's so important, so it's great.
That's
Yeah,
true.
the education is important to me. But for me, as me being a mom and a parent, it plays into all of that. their energy, how they go to school, what they're feeling when they're going to school, how do they feel about their teacher, how do they feel about the kids around them. It took me a long time to find good schools for them to fit their needs, and even though I was being picky, I had to explain to them, I still want you comfortable. And you're not going to learn if you're feeling anybody else's negative energy, or the teachers not doesn't have good energy. You're not going to want to learn anything from them, and even sometimes my kids, especially my son, he teaches people things, and they get so like blown away by how he's only 10 years old and he's sitting there talking about energy and how, please don't talk to me like that, and I don't like your energy right now.
That's
But
awesome.
I've picked that up when I was pregnant. I learned about Reiki, and I learned about sound bowls and sound healing, and it helped me a lot when I was pregnant because I had pregnancy depression. And when like would hear the sound, it was like for that moment everything went away. Even the baby would calm down in my belly. I wouldn't feel so sick and all. And even after having her, I would play it for her morning, noon, night. Now that she's getting a little older, the ADHD is kicking in because she's like getting into one and wanting to run around. But they all listen to it at some point of the day, even if I wake them up to it at 5 in the morning. They hear good energy and wake up to that. I think it's very important to teach children.
Yeah,
I wish we
absolutely.
could make that a class.
Absolutely. I mean, the thing is that, helping kids to realize that they're responsible for their energy, and tuning into themselves and knowing themselves, like learning about themselves enough. The schools are spending so much time teaching them about outside of them. Everything outside of you is important. But what about what's inside of you? And we really have to give them that solid foundation of learning to know themselves, learning to tune into themselves, learning to experience things through, their filters of being able to really see, because they don't trust themselves once they get to a certain age because society's filled them with so much crap, right? So they stop trusting themselves. So we really have to help them to learn. Like I've been doing that with my 14-year-old. It's like, okay, well, if this doesn't feel right to you, you need to trust that. You don't have to have a reason. If right away, if it doesn't feel right, that's it. Stop looking for the understanding of it and just know that your body's telling you, and you'll get your answer later. And that's so important, especially with teenagers and younger kids. It's such a huge part of what we've been numbed to for so long, right? And now we're really starting to step into that. And I think that's just so powerful. And these kids, this newer generation, is really going to blow our minds with what they could do. They are coming in stronger and more, like they are not standing for anything, tolerating anything that is not in resonance anymore. It's no longer about just settling or accepting because you're told to. I see that in my kids so much. Like we were talking about the rebelliousness, and like they're rebelling against school because they're not feeling like that's aligning with them. It's not feeling right for them. The way they're having to sit and be quiet and listen and this, and it's just it doesn't fit them, who they are. And so having to sit in that discomfort is really hard for them.
Right.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. And I like that perspective, Bex, that you just gave, because I'm still healing, I'm still learning. So it's kind of like like I said before, with the show, I'm using it as a tool to help me be aware of more of what I'm doing as a person, as a mother, as a human being, and reflect it to them. And that is something that I've noticed, that there has been a change. There's still some frictions there, but there has been a change, and I like that. I like that perspective that you gave.
Yeah. It's so amazing to be able to watch. And I mean, for the most part, it's our job to get, like I said, give them, plant the seeds, give them some information, but then we have to step back and observe and watch them move through their stuff, knowing that we've given them the right skills and the right abilities to be able to transmute things, to be able to experience things, to be able to just be. And I think that right there is the most important thing. At what point are we teaching our children just to be, that they don't have to be doing all the time? Now I'm going off on a tangent. So
I love that. I love that.
It's interesting that you said that. yesterday or the day before, me and my children were having a conversation about life, and because my mother passed away when I was younger, so they were
Mhm.
asking, how did that feel? Because
Mhm.
they're so used to having me around, and they
Right.
have their dad. So they're just like, how did you feel, mommy? And I'm like, well, I was a kid. I didn't really know too much, but I don't know. Now that I'm an adult, it affects me a little bit now. And they're like, wow, I don't know what I would do without you. I'm like, you
Mhm.
wouldn't? And that makes me sad. And they're like,
Right.
but why? I'm like, because no, I want you to walk away with, go with everything I taught you. Every lesson I gave you, everything, every meditation, every book I read and you watched me read out loud, or prayer I've read out loud, or candle I lit, please remember that. Keep that with you wherever you go. I even spray Florida water on them every time they leave the
Yes.
door.
Mhm.
And they have it in them now. Before I go, I gotta, and they walk out the door. And when they come back, they do it again. They know to wash their hands and take off their shoes. And it makes me so proud because I didn't have any of that.
Right. That's
Do you think
beautiful.
being on the show gives you, like the kids see you do that and they say, well, other people are listening to mom. Maybe I should listen to mom too. Do you think that maybe you get a little more credibility just because they realize, well, hey, she must be wise because other people are talking about how wise they've become on this. Like, Juju, you've been showing how you've been healing, and the kids are going, oh, mom's not perfect, but she's working on it. So that means like if I don't have to be perfect right now. I can keep working on it. Do you find that?
Oh, yes, totally. And that I just had a proud, like a mama moment, and that I think it was Friday when my 14-year-old came from school, and she was like, Mom, I was talking to my guidance counselor, and I told her that you have a well, right before my show on Thursday, the school had called me. They wanted to go over the 504 plan.
Mhm.
I couldn't because it was minutes right before the show. So I was like, I'm sorry, I'm preparing for a podcast. So when they spoke, she was like, "Oh, I heard your mom has a podcast. What is it about?" Um, my daughter just was. She was. I guess she was just enjoying. She was so happy to tell. And she said, "Mommy, I said everything. You have it with your best friend, and then y'all talk about this, and then y'all talk about healing, and y'all talk about that." And it just the way that she was saying, and their face was glowing. It was making me so happy because she's promoting me at the same time. So now, the guidance counselor asked her to for me to send her the link of the
Awesome.
show so she could watch the show. So, that's a proud moment. So like that shows me the growth and the effect that I have on them
Yeah,
with the show.
absolutely. And it shows you that she's proud of you, even if she doesn't say it very often. She's so proud of you showing up, and
Yes,
you're setting that example for her to show up for herself. That's awesome. So
that is
powerful. And I
true.
get those moments too when my kids are like, so my friend wants to know. I told them what you do. And they want to know, they want to follow you. I'm like, okay, cool. So they love it just to brag about to friends. But for their own stuff, they're like, I don't believe in that, mom. Cut it out. I don't want to hear that. All the time. All the time. But it's okay because I know that the things that matter are the things that get through. The really important
Mhm.
stuff gets
Yes.
through. Them being good people, like that is there. Like I know it is. I see it. So it doesn't have to be, what crystal can I use for this right now? It'll come. I mean, I had an uncle who was military and he's former military and we talk once in a while and he messaged or calls me and he's like, I need to know what crystals I can use for heart valves. And I was like, oh, this has never happened. All right, let's do this. I'll look it up. I'll let you know. I'll get into it. I was so excited. Like, you never know who is going to pay attention and who's going to be looking for that sort of support. It's awesome.
Yeah,
It
it's
is. It is awesome.
so of all the things that you've been projecting, like what do you want your kids to take home for themselves out of all of this? Like, what do you think is an important message? We'll start with you, Mandy. Like, what do you, if you only, had to condense it down to two things, what would you want your kids to take from what you've learned now and what you've projected on the show?
What I tell them every day, you matter and you could do it. I repeat that day in and day out to my children. And I encourage them to tell other people that they matter and that they can do it. And I hope that that fills their cup a little bit, which I know it does, but I want them to also take away just being a good person takes you far. Your intentions, the things you put in this world, the seeds you plant, that means something. So you have to be careful of everything that you want in life and everything that you ask for. Make sure you always do it with a good and pure heart and have confidence in yourself.
Cool. How about you, Juju? What would be the one thing you want your kids to know about you and the show and what they can take and use as an example? You know, if you were pointing to somebody else, like anyone else in this world, and you can see, but you
Um,
pretend it's you.
that if my mother was able to go through bipolar depression, deaths, all everything, traumas, all that I have went through, and still learn how to heal and still survive, like not just follow the lead, but like as well as show everybody else that if my mom was able to do it, I know I could do it and everybody else could do it. And I guess it falls similar into what Mandy said as well. It's just everybody matters. You could do it. Everybody could do it. So I've been through a lot. So if I'm able to come out and shine, I know a lot of people could shine as well.
Okay, what about one negative thing that you don't want your kids to pick up from you? Because I've heard, you're in the middle of an argument and you hear your kids and you're going, "Oh my God, that's me." They're yelling at you and you go, "Oh my God, that's my phrases for yelling at a sister." So, is there anything like that you'd like to say? Okay, let's nip that in the bud for yourself, for your own good, right now. What would
Rhonda wants y'all to be vulnerable right now.
Yeah.
Right.
I will say that for me it's the yelling. I do. I have come from, like, if we're gonna put it on numbers, I went from 100 to a 25, but I still have the tendency to sometimes react and scream and stuff. And now that I'm healing and I'm working on it, I notice and I'm like, yo, that's exactly the way that I reacted. Like, that's how I would have reacted. Like, no, 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 no. I'm trying to heal this, so we're not doing this no more in the house. We're trying to get better and stuff like that. So that's what I'm going through right now.
So
So that's
learn to
why I
respond rather than react, right?
Yes.
Is that okay? Yeah. The yelling thing, like I'm French, German, and Irish and Scottish, so it's a real hard thing not to yell. And especially my mother had four daughters, and you'd imagine four girls that are, stair steps in life. We weren't allowed to hit each other, so we had to yell and use your
Oh
voice.
no, no. None of that.
And the loudest one won. So yeah, so yeah, yelling.
Usually, yeah, in my
Go ahead.
house too. But one negative thing would just be not to be passive. Stick up for yourself. Just because you have a feeling that doesn't make you a bad person or make you wrong. You know what I mean? It just makes you whole, that you feel anything. But my children, they tend to go at each other. And I know a piece of that is me because when I am passionate about something, I'm gonna bring it up and we're gonna talk. And that's how my kids are. They want to talk right now and they don't care what you're doing. You could be on the phone and they don't care. So they're like that with me, but with things they should be like that with, they tend to grow meek and quiet. And I've noticed that lately. And now I'm working on it with them. Like, don't do that. Don't do that. Mommy used to do that when she was a kid too. Don't do that. That was because I was shushed all the time. And
So they're
mommy don't
cherry
shush.
picking. They're cherry
Yeah.
picking in their life. The hard things, easy low front. Like I can yell at my brother, but when it comes to saying no to someone that I think is stronger than I am, I
Right.
won't say no because I don't want to put myself
They don't
in.
want.
Mhm.
So if that's one thing I hope that they could get rid of, it would be that.
Yeah, passive aggressive like is bad.
Hmm.
Try not to be, but yeah,
It's hard.
it's hard being a parent, isn't it? It doesn't matter. Like it's really hard doing that, and it doesn't. I would say it gets easier as they get older. Mine are 29 and 30 now, but you still worry about the same things I think you did when they were babies, right?
Mhm.
Are they safe?
Yes.
Are they eating right? Are they,
Mhm.
know, it
Making
shouldn't
good
be done.
choices. Yeah.
Are they making good
Yeah,
choices?
they're
Well, I think the
mental,
thing,
they're emotional.
right, and I think the thing about raising kids that you don't learn until you're in the hell of it is they will reflect everything back to you.
Oh my God.
Amen.
Everything. They are your mirrors in every sense, good and bad. And so, if you really want to heal, that's gonna be
Through your
it's
children.
a yeah. I mean, I'm not saying to have kids if you're not ready, but like when you're ready to really face your shit, kids are the way to do
I've
it
had a
because yeah.
6-year-old tell me, "Are you done yet?" Like, "Done with what, ma'am?" "Oh, your little episode. Are you done yet? Can
Woo.
we talk now?" And I'm like, "I don't know whether to be proud of you until you go to your room."
Mhm.
But yes, we
Yeah,
can
kids
talk
will keep it
now.
real. They keep it real. They see you, but the thing is they also teach you that unconditional love because they love you no matter how crazy you get. They love you no matter, no matter what, no matter, if you're taking away things because they're acting out, they still love you.
Mhm,
It can get
mhm.
rough and they still love you. And that for me is, I had them young. I went from being a kid to having kids and didn't get
Oh,
that time to grow up in between. And I grew up with them, in a big way. And so that was hard. It was so hard, but it taught me so much more about myself than I could have learned anywhere else, you know?
I
So
could totally agree. Totally agree
yeah.
with that as well. I had mine at a young age as well, and it's kind of like I grew up with my oldest as well.
Mhm.
So it's kind of I went through that transition, and I saw myself, and it's it was something that I took for granted before.
Yeah.
Having that unconditional love that no matter how I came out, how no matter how much I yelled and screamed at them, they still gave me that unconditional love afterwards. I took that for granted. But now with through my healing, it's like, wow, like I'm always asking for love, and it's been right there all along.
Mhm.
Yeah, if you just didn't.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and it's interesting that the ones in your like all your kids, you love them the same, but you all love them different, right? Like my mom would say, I love the one who's farthest away the most. And, we'd say, who do
Mhm.
you love the most? We used to always ask her, well, the one who's sick or the one who's farthest away or the one who's not right in the room right now. But yeah, she loved them all. She loved them
Yep.
all the same, but differently because I think you remember your kids aren't just little clones of you and they all have their own personalities.
Yeah. They're all,
And
Yes.
yeah.
maybe where your conflicts, like you said, Bex, show up are the what they're mirroring to you and
Yeah.
what you're mirroring back to them. That's where you butt heads. It's like, oh, I'm seeing myself there, and I don't like that.
Yeah.
mhm.
Yeah,
Biggest opportunity for growth. But I always tell mine, they always like, oh, this one's your favorite, especially when they're mad at me. They'll say one of the other ones. I was like, no, I just like you all equally. Like, we're not playing. That's it. I don't have a favorite. But yeah, no, absolutely. It's they will challenge you in every way. Every time you finally think that things are in a good place and you got the communication good and things are going great, one of them will drop out again. You're always having to go, adjust things with one of them. It's always having to evolve with them. There's never a point where things are constant, stable, steady. Like you'll have a moment, it'll be great, and then boom, another one will need some support in a different way than you've been able to show up before. And so it really is offering you the biggest opportunity for growth, your own evolution. Like you have to be able to adapt. If you're not adapting, and that's where it can be exhausting, but it's so rewarding.
Nail Brittany says, I tell each of mine they are my favorite and to keep it secret.
Have you have you ever felt at a certain point like I had this awareness at not too long ago, a few months back, where I saw each of my children at their age that they are, and it, like you said, it reflected a mirror on me. I was like, I was like that at that age. I was like that at that age. I was like, it's like I saw all my four personalities, since I had four children, all four personalities.
Yeah.
Is that how it does feel like being a mother, like where you see all your personalities together all at the same time?
Yeah,
And
absolutely. I mean, I
And it,
definitely have seen that. I also see my exes, which can be challenging in itself. So I'm like, oh crap, now I'm raising the man I divorced. That's fun. But I get to see more of me come out because I'm here actively like all the time. So I get to see more of that. And it definitely is a crazy realization when you are seeing yourself at 16 staring back at you or at 14. And I know I was challenging. So when I see those things pop up, I'm like, all right, I needed that. I needed that perspective shift so I could see, where I've come from, what I've been through, and where I am today, and how I wouldn't have been or gotten to where I am today had I not been in those places. I went through those things so I could be there for my kids in that way that I wouldn't know without experience.
that's
100%, yes.
funny you say that. I'm just wondering if our kids will be like us. Um, when my husband's, bothering me, I'll call him his mother's name. Sometimes
Mm.
I'll say, "Yeah, way to go." Like when he's imitating some of her being negative
Oh,
behaviors, I'll say, "Yes, June," and or he'll say, "Yes, Keith," my dad. When I'm doing something, and that's like one of the ways to really piss each other off is
Yep,
to say, you know, say. So I'm just wondering if our kids will do the same when we get, and they'll say, "Yes,
probably.
Juju," or "Yes, Bex,"
probably.
Probably.
when we're doing something. I think it's quite funny, but
Yeah.
I, it's a challenge. And what do you think with your energy work? How like you've said a little bit about that, but what would you want them to gain the most from what you've learned, and what would you like them to emulate about that?
How powerful you could be, how you're in control of that, and the minute you let control of that, not bad things will happen to you. It's just the things you want in life will be harder to get, you know? When you approach things, how are you approaching them? Because, people feel you before you even walk through the door. Some people have told me they've read my name and they're just interested by that. And then when they see me, they're like, well, you're not ugly. But it's just, I know, but that's just energy. Like, I want them to really understand that if they have a positive attitude, even when they don't feel positive, that's a beauty, a power, and a healing tool that they can give other people.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm sorry. What do you think, Juju? What do you think they like? If you could have your kids just grab one of your traits right now, which one would it be that they could carry forward? Like, you know,
I would love for them to learn Reiki with me. I'm a Reiki practitioner. I haven't continued. I have paused it. I That's something that it will be coming, continuing very soon. But that is something that I want them to take. To learn how to receive the energy and accept it, and know that with that energy they're able to not just heal themselves but heal others. So that's what I want for them.
it makes you kind of feel a little bit special, but a little bit powerful and a little bit, how do you say, invincible at the same time, eh?
Yeah.
It's just like the secret sauce on your life.
I tell them all the time, especially my teenagers, I'm your blueprint. Please use me. I'm here. You have me. I've been through a lot. Maybe a lot of things you probably will never even know about. But if I don't have an answer, I'm the type of person I'll go find one. I will create a solution for you. But please don't ever feel like you're by yourself, because that's exactly how I used to feel. And learning everything by myself, even how to, girl stuff. They didn't teach me in school. Yeah, they didn't teach you at school, like certain things, and I never wanted that for my children, and I am proud that they actually are taking to the energy. and wanting to be a part of, you know, the life.
Mhm.
It's beautiful.
Let's go. Yeah.
Yeah, love that.
Yeah. Indoctrinate your kids into Reiki culture and energy culture. I think it's so much more positive than the news. So,
It is. It is. And my 16-year-old boy, he was exposed to Reiki by my mom when he was little. Like I've had Reiki since I was pregnant with my first. So I was 19. I was 18 when I first got Reiki, like got the attunements, and then got my second attunement when I was pregnant with him. When I first was born, they said he was a Reiki baby. The nurses said he was like glowing. So that was amazing. It's always been there. But my third child, my son, he still remembers the symbols and stuff. Like he was talking about the other day. He's like, Mom, I think I still remember them. And I was like, hey, that's good. Like, we talked about it and he remembered and he was like drawing it in the air and stuff. And I was like, you know what? Even if he doesn't use it, it's still there. It's still a part of him. So it's a really powerful thing for kids to have. And I think that being able to open kids up to that at a young age really gives them such a benefit, because they're
Yes.
able to show up in this world in a much lighter way.
yeah, a
I
lighter and empowered way,
Yeah.
another way.
Yeah,
Yeah.
And they
kind of
know
like
how
what
to
Mandy said, with a better energy, just for when they come into a room, just their vibe is
Yes.
red, just
right.
for that, that's also as well. So yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
And even dealing with other people's energy, not just their own,
Mhm.
True.
that's
Mhm.
another big one for me because before I even knew what energy was, ta- I I didn't even know what an empath was, and taking on people's energy and their thoughts and always feeling so heavy and sad. And I
Mhm.
used to be like, but this is not mine because I have nothing going on.
Mhm.
I had to learn that, didn't even know why. And now I see, even in this conversation, like, because I had to teach my own how to do it because I wasn't taught. So how did I ever get to teach them,
Right.
you know? So it is a beautiful thing.
It
It
is.
is. And you could
Absolutely.
start from birth, please do.
Mhm.
Start from before you get pregnant.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And
I
definitely,
wish I knew this back then when I
Me
was pregnant,
too.
but I
right?
didn't. So
Yeah, me too. Like,
I
oh,
only learned it the last baby. five, 5 kids later.
but my youngest did saw me as I when I was on my first level, I had to practice Reiki, so I was doing it not just on myself, but I started doing it on my dog because my dog
Mhm.
had ate half of a chocolate cake, and I was just panicking, and I was like, oh my god, I don't want to lose my dog. So I started doing Reiki. So she's like, what you doing? And I was like, just come and help me, just just give energy to the dog so he could feel better. And she just did it without even knowing. So sometimes I catch her sometimes doing like that to the dog, like sometimes when they throw up, she's like, you're gonna be okay, you're gonna be okay. So it is true, it does mean a lot when you teach them at a young age.
yeah, for sure. Even if they're just going preteens, when they're open and receptive and they want to do everything you're doing, because there's that magic age when they want to do everything, and then they kind of get
Yes.
out of that magic age, and then you
Then they
haven't
want to do
lost.
everything you're not doing, and they don't like
Right.
anything
And
you
then
do
you're
like,
just
and
like,
yeah, full rebellion.
versus versus everything that I love about you, and then it's like, I don't like you anymore.
Mhm.
That's
Mhm.
it's either
They
yes
will
or no.
they will hate everything you like, and systematically everything you listen to, everything they've grown up with. It's all of a sudden, nope, I don't like that.
But
Who the
remember,
hell are
we were
you?
exactly the same way. Like when I hear my husband says, "Oh, I hate their hair," and I said, "Do you remember those mutton chops and your kind of whatever else you had going on there for a haircut? I bet your parents didn't like that either." Like, like I have a picture of him. He's got. I said I didn't even like him that
God.
much, but yeah, and
I
you
can't.
look cool, dude. So and oh,
Those were
listen to
the
that music.
times, though.
It's
Mhm.
the same with all that music is just rotten, and I'm thinking, yeah, my parents used to say that too, so it
Mhm.
might not be
Mhm.
for
Oh
me, but
God, we've hit that age. Oh,
I know,
ouch.
I know.
You
Just
know what?
remember,
It's the vibration. Remember,
It is.
I learned even yesterday that when you're vibrating low, you listen to low vibrating music. When you
Right.
start to vibrate higher, you look for different things to fill
Mhm.
that, to keep you at that level. And I noticed that. I didn't even I noticed that recently. I didn't notice that always. I knew music was therapy.
Mhm.
But when I really paid attention to why am I listening to this song? Like I like it, but why did I listen to it?
Right.
And then I actually heard the words and I'm like, wow, this is how I used to feel.
Mhm.
Sorry.
Yeah.
He's like, yep.
Oh. Yeah, and music, like I have music phases. I'll go through listening to this one band for like, 6 months, and then I'll be like, okay, need something else. And I'm just like phases. It's all like different levels, and it's no consistency. It's all different types of music. It's
Hmm.
whatever place I'm in. And so music has really been kind of like a how do you put it? Like it's been like a blueprint of my life, showing all the different moods and different experiences and different you know personalities that I've had. Like it's just been so many
Oh,
different aspects of me
yes.
throughout my entire life. It's crazy to look at that and be able to like map out, where I've been.
Yeah. And your kids won't, don't expect them to like it, and just
Oh,
say
no.
No, but
that's
I'm
okay.
dying because my youngest has discovered the 80s, and so she's going through an 80s thing, and I'm like, I lived through that. Like, we don't
I
need to
was
go
just
through
about to
that.
say, I see when I was little, they forced that upon me. So it
Yeah.
was weekends, you heard freestyle, you need to get up, grab the pledge, and start wiping down. So my kids, they hear the music. I don't make them clean, but
Mhm.
it just changes the mood. I either they know I want their attention, or I
Mhm.
just want to spend time with them.
Right.
Because again, they're all different ages, and to sometimes spend individual time is hard. So I try to find things that they all love. So we'll break out in harmony sometimes.
Mhm.
Like our favorite song right now is Backstreet Boys.
Love
Oh
that.
yeah, I like Backstreet Boys.
Love
And
them.
that was who
Mhm.
didn't love them? And the way that we all just bust out in song, I looked at them the other day like, I never did this. And the look on their face, the smile they have, I'm like, that's energy right there. That's some
Mhm.
that's some good energy.
I love that. It's so
It
funny
is
that you say
beautiful.
that because we, on the way back from Pennsylvania, were in the van coming back, had the music cranking, and Backstreet Boys came on, and that was the one song that everybody knew, and even my 16-year-old could hear him dropping the bass in the back. Like it was great, and I was just like, we're all vibing out to Backstreet Boys. I'm like, all right, like didn't think this moment was gonna happen, but here we are, and it was so great. It was so much fun, and it really just, it is when you come together in that music. It lifts you up. It brings like a deeper sense of connection with the people that you're with. Just it's powerful.
Yes, it
Yeah.
definitely is. It happens a lot when I'm driving or where we're going somewhere and we're
Mhm.
driving. That just it doesn't have to be specific. We don't have specific song. It's just whatever song we all know and we just start singing and it's just that, like I said, that energy that it feels so amazing. And then when I do it here in the house, it's kind of like Mandy says, usually for cleaning.
Yeah.
So, but it's still like when I put the music and they know it's cranked up all the way, they know that it's cleaning, but there's gonna be some fun. They're gonna see oh no, here goes mommy with her dancing.
Yeah.
So they start
Yeah.
and then I just grab them and I start dancing with them too. And then and I just start that vibe and everybody's just, they do the chore that they gotta do. I
Mhm.
still get what everything gets done anyways, but it's still a good vibe.
It's
Yeah.
just the recording part that I wish they would let go of.
Right.
My kids and their TikTok stuff, Jesus.
Yeah.
And then
Oh
I'll start
yes.
dancing, and then they'd be like, "Wait, mom, wait, no,
Yeah. Yeah. You
That
can't
just
get away
needs to
from
go
that anymore.
viral.
no, not at my expense. Let's not."
No.
They're like, "But mom,
Oh.
you're this old and you can shake it. Like, come on, listen."
You're that old. Oh my God.
Listen, you're
Anyway.
not old until you can drop it low but can't pick it back up. Then you're old. Right?
Even then, I
So
still think you're youthful because you got
Right.
the courage to go
You can
down.
drop it low. Exactly.
So,
Oh God.
so, ladies, you can be watched in replay now. And so, did you let us know where they can be watched? And then Bex has some questions for y'all.
um we could be watching the and the breakthroughshownetwork.com. You could be able to rewatch all our episodes that has aired, and our show usually goes on every Thursday, every Tuesday, every second Tuesday and Thursday of the month.
And Mandy, where can you be found if people want to get a hold of you?
Yes, you guys can find me on TikTok, on Instagram by the name Ugly Pretty Chick, or you could find me on Facebook by Mandy B. I don't have any websites up yet, but I do have a link tree. You could keep up with everything that I'm doing and all the projects I'm working on. And we've got some pretty good episodes coming up too. So
Oh, cool. Cool. So, Bex, you have some questions for our two guests
I
because
do, but
you're the
first I want
question lady.
I am. I asked Juju where we can find you too.
Oh, I do have my own YouTube, Juju Divine Empress, where I also, all the shows are there as well. I have my IG, and I have a new Facebook because my old one was hacked, so I got a new Facebook. But everything that I have is always Juju Divine Empress, either Juju Divine Empress 22 or just Juju Divine Empress. You will find it YouTube, IG, Facebook, everything,
Awesome. All right.
including
So
TikTok.
perfect. First question I'm going to ask, and then we're going to do Mandy first and then Juju. So be ready, Mandy. First question is, if you had to choose a song to be the theme song of your life for right now, because like I said, we go through phases, what would that be?
wow. One song right now. You put me on the spot. Okay, there's this girl called Alaska Safara, and she sings this song called Face to Face. And it's basically her speaking about her coming face to face with her past, her present, and her future self, and doing all the work to heal and moving forward, and no, she's not perfect, and a lot of people tell her how she's not perfect, but who is anybody to judge anyone when they're not God? So that's my
Sweet.
song right now,
Love
Face to
that.
Face.
All right, Juju, your turn.
I have three, so I don't know which one to pick out of them. Because it's kind of like I grew up with one, which was Hero Mariah Carey, and
Yes.
then as I was going through my healing phase, I had She Wolf with David Guetta feat Shia, falling to pieces. But since my mom passed away in 2018, I've been going towards Rise Up from Andra Day.
Mm, those are all
So
good choices.
it's hard to pick out of those three.
So pick all three. There you go. You can have all three. It's okay. This is our show. We can do what we want.
That's right. Right.
The rules are expansive. We don't have set rules. Okay. Second question for you first, Mandy, is what is your favorite crystal that you're working with right now?
Ooh, my selenite, my wand.
Oh, you.
I actually have it right here.
Oh my.
Yes.
Oh yeah.
And this has been my go-to lately, like to clear my own energy, to clear my space of work. Um, it actually gives me peace of mind. And like when I'm reading my cards and stuff, I'll always have it next to me. It's pretty big. I do have a smaller version, but this and I forget the name to this one.
Carnelian.
Carnelian. Yeah.
These are the two that always sit near my desk, near my Buddha and stuff,
Mhm.
and they're always with me all the time.
Love that.
Oh.
Yeah, we always tell our guests who bring up the selenite that you can get like the selenite plates. And so one of our friends told us that she puts her glasses on it at night when she goes to sleep. So I totally do that with mine. I have it right on my bed actually. And so like charges
know.
your glasses, right? So
And-
you can like
Does him? Oh
Yeah.
my God, that's a
And
good
you know,
idea. I'm gonna get one.
You know how you can get the really tiny pieces of selenite?
Yep.
Diana Cooper was on our show, and she says she puts them above the lintels, on the door frames coming in and out of her house. So everybody who comes in kind of gets a shower of cleaning, and you put it on your windows around your house. Yeah. So
yeah, I grid my house.
when you're dusting, they all fall off. But yeah, well, I don't dust that much. So
I keep them
that's not a
tucked in the
problem.
corners because I don't. If I put them above, like my kids will slam doors or something and then they'll fall. But
Yeah.
I keep them tucked in the
I
in the
tape
corner.
them.
Oh, there you go.
Oh,
Got
really?
tape 'em.
Yeah.
That is smart.
I'm old. I get these things. Anyway, so
She's like, I'm
Juju,
gonna
what-
get it there.
We're turning it over to you, Juju. What's your favorite crystal that you're working with right now?
I'm very new to this. I'm not very knowledgeable on regards of crystals. I'm still learning, but I've been attracted to this one. It's white and it has like a yellowy ish on the side. And I
Mhm.
looked it up and it says it's moonstone.
Oh, give us a
So
good show. Just put it up to your camera.
okay, so let me try to see if I can put it like this.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah, that's a
beautiful.
lovely, lovely. And it's right. It's however you feel the energy. That's
Yeah.
right. They call to you,
But then
right?
this is another one that I really don't know what it is. This is the one that my 14-year-old gave me. It's just like really light blue all
That's
Oh,
beautiful.
around.
It looks almost like an opal light.
yeah, it does to me too. Yeah,
Yeah, those are
beautiful.
great. Good choices.
Great,
And I
clear
mean, the
energy.
colors, like, yeah, definitely, like anything that's light blue works on the throat chakra and thing like that. You know, it helps you with your speech, speaking your truth, clearing all of that so you don't feel like you have to be silenced anymore, which is perfect for you and showing up on your show and doing what you do. You know,
Every time I'm nervous, I actually just grab them in my hand and I start like
Mhm.
I just go like this and I just rub them right before the show. That's actually what I do.
That's perfect. I love that. All right, third question. This is the big one. This is Rhonda's question that she brought in. So we ask everyone because we feel that disclosure is happening person to person, not on the big scale. And so we feel like it's better just to talk about it in the open. So this question is, have you ever experienced extra dimensional intelligence, meaning UFOs, visitations, or things like that? Go ahead, Mandy.
Well,
I believe I'm an alien, so that doesn't help.
I mean, not that you
I
can have.
already don't. I already agree I don't belong on this earth. Never have, never did. But aliens, I wouldn't say. It's hard for me to be out in the open, I guess, to say yes. I can see spirits. They do come to me in my dreams. I actually see, you know, them in my house and other people's house. I'll see loved ones of other people's. Um, and they also speak to me through my cards. Sometimes I get these visions where I'll just lock into them and they'll show me whatever they want to show me. Even when I look in clouds, I can see images, and I'll know exactly instantly. Don't know how, I just always know who they're from and who's trying to communicate with me. And at first it was scary because you don't know about these things or no one's taught you, but when you go through it, you start noticing that, hey, maybe I was one of them. Or maybe I really am an alien and I don't belong here. But your understanding becomes so much bigger. But it is hard to come out and say, hey, I see spirits, I see dead people.
You know what? We have lots of people who say that on here, so it's perfectly safe in this space to out yourself. So we appreciate you for doing that.
Thank
All right, your turn, Juju.
well, I can't really say that I am an alien or none of that. Like that's now how I feel at the moment. But I have experienced I could say I could feel when spirits are in the room. I can't see them. I can talk to them, but I just feel them. That's about it. I'm learning how to get downloads. I guess I'm still a student. I'm still learning how to unlock all my powers still at this moment. So I have not experienced anything beyond that.
You haven't seen any strange lights in the skies that you couldn't figure out were planes or not, or
Yeah, I could say that. I'm always sitting in my porch, and I always there's constantly planes flying over, and I have seen something so white that did not look like a airplane. But again, I can't really pinpoint and say, yeah, that's something abnormal that I have seen or not.
that's very cool.
Yeah.
We are all students.
We are. I was going to
Yeah,
say that too. Absolutely. Like, that's what I say when people ask me what I am. I'm like, I'm a student of the universe. Like, I'm constantly learning. There's never a point where I'm going to stop. Like, it doesn't matter where I'm at. There's always more to learn. So I
I
love
learned that
that.
from Buddha. Buddha
Yeah.
always states that a student becomes a teacher and a teacher will always remain a student.
Mhm.
that's right. That's
Mhm.
very cool.
It's
Now
fun
we
learning
say that
though.
we always learn until our last breath.
Yep.
And that's why we come
Right.
here to learn this stuff, because this is the
Yes.
school. This is the extreme school, right?
School
So
of hard
Yes.
knocks. Yeah.
hard knocks.
That is
I love
definitely the
this
Got
school
our
of hard
school.
certifications. Don't worry, we got our wings already.
knocks.
My
Well, I
children
think the
always
thing is,
tell
it's
me I'm an
yeah,
angel with no wings.
it's the remembering that we have to work on. It's not that we're actually learning; it's the remembering. We already know everything, but we have
Right.
to remember. You know, we have to tap back into it. So we come here to forget, so we can remember all over again. And once we get that activated, then we're masters. We're here. We're ascended masters already.
Mhm.
You know, we just chose to come back down here.
Awesome.
So it's pretty badass.
Yeah,
Sex
we
is
are
pretty
pretty
badass.
badasses.
Yeah, yeah. That's what we got to teach our kids, to be brave and be badass. That's right.
Yes.
Yes.
And just embrace your gift.
Absolutely.
Whatever it be.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Aloha from Hawaii.
Yeah.
Aloha. Ooh.
Aloha. Ooh, I want to go now.
I want to go to Hawaii. It's just such a
I
long
just want to
plane ride.
go there just to meditate. I just want to
Mhm.
sit there and just sit on the sand and just, I had hopes of going to Puerto Rico. Unfortunately, with everything happening, that can't happen no more. But that was one of my goals, was to go there, go meditate right by the ocean and by the mountains and really ground myself.
Yeah, where are y'all located? See, I'll use my American. Where are y'all located?
That was a chunky American,
That
but
was
good job.
I'm sorry, Canadian. Eh? Where are y'all located?
Y'all. It's not y'all.
Um,
It's y'all.
yeah,
Y'all.
Y'all.
yeah.
Y'all.
Don't put no emphasis on the L's. It's just y'all.
Yeah. Okay.
But I am from Brooklyn, New York.
I am from the Bronx, New York, but I'm living in New Jersey right now.
Okay.
currently.
So you got New York and you got New Jersey, and y'all are telling me you haven't seen any aliens? I'm not buying that. I'm sorry, but no. There's aliens
I don't-
everywhere there.
I told you I'm right here. Wait, my son hates when I do this. I go, he's like, Mom, stop doing that. I'm like, I told you I'm an alien. You're not believing me.
I think that's the thing, is they're so common there, you don't even notice anymore. So you're just surrounded.
You don't know that, because if you go into history and you read
Yeah.
about the things that they even left us to look at and learn, it describes them. The
Yep.
big eyes, the unshaped head. But
Yep.
even when you look at other things, when I was reading further, they look normal. Their eyes, yes, are a little bit different than ours, because obviously they're not the same species, but you can tell.
Absolutely.
And it's, listen,
And we've all met that person. Now I've met you, but
Yep.
we've all met that person that we go, you're
you
from
look
another
like you
planet,
belong in
aren't
that
you?
planet. Right
That
behind
is
the
true.
sun.
That is true.
Yep.
That is true.
Absolutely. Oh, this has been so much fun, you guys. We love having you on. We're definitely going to have you back because it's so much fun. This is a great way to start the day. Thank you so much
Thank
for
you.
coming and
Thank
hanging
you.
out with us.
Thank you for having us.
Appreciate it. I'm grateful. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you.
absolutely. Anytime. I just have to announce the winner real quick, and then we can have the rest of our days to ourselves. So the winner of this week's Share It Out / comment of last week's show is Kelly B. Dar. You won the Egyptian Soul Spa meditation. Thank you so much. And for you guys watching, if you want a chance to win, you just have to comment or share this out. We prefer sharing, but we will take it if you comment. We're just going to pick a winner because, yeah, we just love you guys. And
Because we can.
because it's our show. Because we can do what we want. So we
You
are our
guys-
own bosses. Amen.
Yes. That is it. I love it.
Yes.
I love it. I love it.
we're gonna- that's how we're gonna go out with today. Just be fierce, honey.
Okay. Here.
Here. Awesome.
Go be
Thanks.
aliens.
Go
Yeah.
be aliens. Isn't there a
As long
song? There's an song. Who did the alien song?
Katy
There's an
Perry.
alien.
No, there was an alien song.
Oh, there's another one.
She's an
Yeah.
alien. True.
She is.
I understand
She's
her. I understand her.
But in a good way. Yeah, just like take care, everybody. See you next week.
Have a blessed week.
Thanks.
Thank you for having us.
Well, loved it.